Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing one of my favorite things, which is a floral ink drawing. I'm going to be using some of my favorite ink pens and show you just some of my favorite techniques. Right now I'm just using a light pencil and I'm sketching out some of the shapes. I'm sketching out a magnolia tree flower, a couple of flowers. Just the big blooms. I think they're beautiful and they're fun to draw. So I always start out with a really light sketch. It's very loose, very light, because I'll probably change it up a little bit. I'm drawing on watercolor paper because I'm thinking I might add watercolor to this later, but I haven't decided yet, but I like to leave that option open. Plus it's just a nice sturdy paper to work with. So I'm going to finish up this sketch for a little bit, and I've got the image of our end result on the left. And so I'm just going to keep sketching for a little bit and start inking in a minute. So when I'm inking with ink pens, I like to use a Sharpie ink pen. I like to use my Micron ink pens, and I use a kind of a variety of things, but those are my two main inking pens that I always fall back on. And the types of marks that I like to make are basically hatching marks, but my hatching marks are very sketchy and very loose, and I tend to make them very quickly. And then the direction or the shape of my hatching marks is going to mimic the shape of the object that I'm drawing. Okay, you can see that I've started laying in some darker values with my drawing, and the way to create darker values is just to do a lot of marks close together. It's very similar to drawing with graphite. When you need a darker area, you just make more marks in that area, make it darker. I think people are intimidated by creating a lot of contrast with ink drawings because you can't blend it, you can't erase it, but it really makes the drawings look more three-dimensional and really gives some interest to them. Right now I'm working with an ink pen. It was a gift to me, so I need to find out where to buy more because I really like it. It's got some Chinese writing on the side, so I'm not even sure of the name brand, but it has a really nice pointed felt tip. And this is allowing me to create a weighted line in some areas of my flower petals. I'm creating a much darker value in some areas, just kind of give it that pop or that high contrast that creates an interesting drawing. Like I said before, some people may find this intimidating, but I think that you're going to be really happy with your drawings when you have really dark values next to really light values. I think that's something that a beginner sometimes neglects to do as much as they should, just because it's an intimidating thing, and you can't really erase those thick dark lines once you've laid them down. But I'm going through and I'm just giving that heavier weighted line in areas that I want to add it. I also, in the center of these magnolia flowers, I've added a little bit of stippling, but this drawing is definitely going to be dominated by hatching marks. And then when I get to my leaves, you're really going to see a lot of hatching marks, happen over and over, because if you've seen a magnolia flower on the magnolia trees, there's these huge white blooms, but the leaves are very dark and kind of glossy looking. They're just beautiful. They're really popular in the South, so if you live in the South, you're probably seeing some magnolia trees. But I like the flow of the flowers and how each petal kind of is variant on each other. They're not all exactly the same. So I'm inking some more. I'm really putting in some heavy lines, and at first it looks kind of off maybe because I've got basically just a line drawing behind it. But anyways, if you've liked this video so far, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. My goal is to make one video a week. And I took a few months off at the beginning of the year, but I'm right back at it, and I really enjoy making these videos. I started drawing with ink pens probably about 4 years ago, using them as a medium all on their own. And I've always been drawn to nature and florals and plants and animals. And over the past 4 years or so, I've just really been drawn to ink pens. And with Inktober, I think participating in the Inktober's the past couple of years has really improved my skills as well. I think whenever you put yourself to a challenge like that, you indefinitely, improve your skills just by creating more. And so if you have not tried drawing with ink pens before, I definitely recommend it. Combining an ink drawing with a watercolor painting is also a great fun way to combine different media. I put a poll on my Instagram about, should I paint these with watercolor or should I not? And my followers on Instagram, they're so sweet and so supportive, and it was really divided on who thought I should paint them with watercolor and who, which ones thought I should just leave it with ink. And somebody said, you need to scan them and make copies and then watercolor the copies. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. And then I realized that I have an inkjet printer, which is great for making prints of, your watercolor paintings and things like that, but it's not waterproof, and that you need a laser printer to do that. So I'm hoping to do that in the future. I mean, it seems kind of crazy to have two printers, one laser and one inkjet, but it's one of my goals. So, because I have so many ink drawings, and to be committed to just one color, I mean, the possibilities are crazy if I can just print them out and on watercolor paper and kind of custom color them for giveaways and things like that. So that's something I want to try in the future. I love comments, so if you've ever experimented with this laser printing and watercolor painting, all together, and let me know how that went for you, what kind of paper you used, what kind of watercolors you used. I would love to know all about it. But I still want to make a version of this drawing with some kind of color, some kind of wash, something in the background. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided, but I will post it on Instagram once I decide. So I'm still, inking these petals and adding some values. I can't get enough of this new pen that I got. It just glides across the paper. It has a nice little tip, so you can have a line that starts as thin and then weighted out to a thicker line. But I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. Okay, I'm starting to ink the leaves. And remember I said Magnolia leaves. Sometimes they're usually bigger than the ones I drew, but they can be very large, and they're a really heavy duty leaf. They're not fragile, and they're dark green, and they have a little bit of a gloss on them. So my goal is to make the value of the leaves darker than the values of the flowers, because the flowers are supposed to be white. So here is my completed drawing. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have not subscribed, please do. Leave me comments. Share this video with someone you think who might enjoy it. I really appreciate you watching till the end. Have a wonderful and creative day.